Hey guys. Hey, been a long while since I've done a live stream. Hope you were doing well today. I'm having one of those days where I am trying to desperately have myself collected and together, but I think I am managing. How are all of you doing? Hope you're doing well. Um, so a lot has been happening, but at the same time, a lot has not been happening. So that's why I decided to call this. Well, that's why I decided to make this the 13th episode of The Mundane Life of a Gay, because a lot of what's been happening to me has involved nostalgia. And a lot of people associate nostalgia as being something negative. But I've gotten to the point in my life where I almost view nostalgia as being a positive force. Oh my god, tea right now. This is Lady Grey tea given to me by my friend Tiffany. She's totally awesome. Um, yeah, oh my god, I almost just got cat hair in my tea. Oh my god. Anyway, so periodically, every couple years, I will kind of have like this weird bout of nostalgia where I have to look through prior journals and diaries, whether they be physical or ones online, and I reflect on the person I was in conjunction with the person that I've become. And I'm always left with the question of, am I happy with the person I've become, or have I not really changed at all whatsoever? Normally, like, if I'm really depressed, I will ask myself the question, well, clearly I've not changed. I'm just still the same angsty, dramatic person who is in this continual existential crisis. But then I'll have days like today where I'm looking back at my stuff and I'm like, I turned out all right. Like, I am pretty satisfied with the person that I've become. And overall, that's mostly the mindset that I'm in. So, oh, by the way, if you guys are who are watching, if you want to comment anything, I am keeping an eye on the chat box. So if you want to say anything, feel free to do so. But anywho, so all right. So I've been looking back at my live journal, which I have had a live journal since, say, 2004. I think it was like my freshman year of high school, something like that. Well, anyway, I had a live journal and I've been looking back through it, and honestly, it kind of seemed like a safe space to me, because that would be the place where I could go to just vent or talk about depression, talk about suicidal thoughts, talk about things bothering me. And I felt safe doing so because there were a lot of situations where I didn't feel confident enough approaching friends to talk about what bothered me, because more often than not, I was told that I was just being emo or overdramatic or, ridiculous. And, I'm not gonna lie, like, there were situations where I clearly was being a bit overdramatic, and I could have definitely calmed myself just a little bit. But I look back at those situations, and I don't look back on it with dread, being like, "Oh my god, I was such an embarrassing person, like, why was I being so stupid, blah, 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 why was I being so overdramatic?" No, I look back on it and I'm like, this is why I think journaling is important, because we are allowed to look back at the individual that we were and appreciate the journey that we've made since then. And that's why I enjoy that bit of nostalgia. That's why I enjoy going back and looking through all of that stuff, because it helps keep me aware of this journey that I'm on, and it helps keep me aware that I'm growing and that I have tackled certain things that I couldn't tackle back then. And of course, there are new obstacles to tackle. That's what makes life interesting, I suppose. But in lieu of this realization, that's what kind of provoked me to start journaling again. And since probably like the end of January, I've been journaling, and I've really enjoyed doing it very much. I've had several days where I've been like so unbelievably depressed, and I just decided to write about it, and like kind of like just my little private area where I can just throw the words out there and not have to worry about repercussions. Because sometimes when you're depressed, you may say things that you don't, you know, want other people to react to, if that makes sense. So I've been doing that, and I looked back and I realized that I regularly posted in my live journal the last time in about 2012, like the end of 2012, and then I just stopped. And from like 2013 to this year, I didn't have any entries. So my first entry, like that I wrote, I was just like, okay, this is what's been happening in the past 5 years. Kind of just getting this trajectory, or like trying to figure out my life trajectory of where I was at the end of 2012 versus where I am now. I had a horrible relationship with a person who was unbelievably toxic. I broke up with that person. I went to school, got my master's degree, developed some crucial life experiences, bettered my capabilities, got teaching experience. Now I'm a teacher, and been through a couple other relationships. They didn't tend to pan out very well, and here I am, voila, much more secure and confident in the person that I am. And well, I've developed some life experiences, which I think are valuable. So, Buttons and Rubbish says that we keep certain foundations, but we keep growing from them. Yes, I completely agree with that. Um, we do set those foundations, and I think we're continually setting a foundation. We have to keep making sure that the foundation doesn't get holes. We have to just keep mentally fortifying ourselves, I think. And keep in mind, when I say mental fortification, I'm not saying like avoiding things. I'm saying addressing fears and insecurities in order to build that fortification. But anyway, so while I've been depressed, very much so over the past couple months, I've been able to look back over the past 5 years and be like, I am a better person than I was back then because I removed toxicity from my life. I invited in positivity, and I ultimately grew as a result. And I really think that, I mean, that's why I do videos like this, because I feel like every day, especially those of us who have depression, we have to sit here and consciously think about our depression. Why are we plagued by it? What provokes it? Does nothing provoke it? What can we do to overcome it? And honestly, like I recommend this to everyone. I think journaling or even vlogging like this, because this is almost like a video version of that is a very helpful way to give yourself perspective over a long period of time. And if you haven't tried it, I would encourage you to do so. There are so many different sites that you can use. You can use Blogspot, or is it called Blogger now? I think it's Blogger now. You can use that. You can use LiveJournal. You can use WordPress. There are so many different blogging sites out there. I'm firmly believe that blogging has not died. And LiveJournal certainly hasn't died. I was curious the other day. I was like, LiveJournal, like how many people actually use it today? And I looked, and actually, it was bought out by some sort of Russian company, and it's currently still the like 151st most popular website on the internet. So a lot of people do use it. It's just not Western centric like it used to be. But I'm gonna use it more now. So why the hell not? So. Hello, is it one Ikane? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Aloha from Hawaii. Oh my God, I wish I was in Hawaii right now. If you could see the weather here, it is absolutely ridiculous. Jalera, I remember your live journal, so message me later and I will tell you. Anyway, um, where was I? Oh, um, So yeah, I was very humbly surprised to see that Liar Journal is still flourishing, and I was very happy about that. So, um, kudos to LiveJournal, stay going, and stay strong because believe me, you give a lot of people the opportunity to be an outlet. Like, you allow them to have some sort of outlet. That's what I'm trying to say. Forgive me for being articulate today. Oh my god. So this Lady Grey tea almost tastes like Lucky Charms to me, but that's just me. I could be insane. I don't know. Anyway, so so yeah, I've been journaling again. I've been looking at 2008 me versus 2018 me. And I just wanted to read you a quick journal from 2008. I posted this on January 1st, 2008 at like 1 something in the morning. And the title of this journal was 2007 is Gone Already. And I will just read it to you to give you a little bit of context of my mental state back then. So here we go. Wow. It is so scary to think that 2007 is gone, just like that. It seems like just yesterday, it was 2003, hell, even 2001. Part of me is so terrified that time is moving this quickly for me. In a blink of an eye, it'll be 2014 or something. It literally was. This past year has seemed to contain so much, yet move so quickly. It scares me to think that just nearly 5 years ago, I was a freshman in high school and that my grandma died. Now that I'm here at 2008, I'm kind of afraid of time, I guess. I thought I was over that feeling so long ago, but apparently I was mistaken. Maybe this year will be a lot different and hopefully better for me. I still find myself hoping that I won't be boyfriendless again for a whole year since it has been about that long since I came out. Well, to the first person, I guess. I really sincerely hope that I find a boyfriend. I'm going on 20 now. I was 19 at this time. It'd be nice to at least have one in my lifetime while I'm still young, I guess. I know I'm young, it's just time is moving so quickly for me. I want to enjoy it while it lasts. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's how my mind works. I love you guys. Hugs. So, you can't help but to giggle over those things, I suppose. But as you can tell, back then, I was and this was not just 2008, it was probably like 2007 to 2012. I was so fixated with having a boyfriend. I felt very alone and I felt very marginalized even within the LGBT community. I still feel marginalized a bit now, but I don't feel that crippling loneliness. I don't. Like, I feel so much more secure in myself. To the point where the thought of having someone in my life is nice, but it's not something that I constantly dwell on. Like, because I know what I'm worth. I know that I will attract somebody good eventually. And I don't care at this point now what phase of life I'm in. Yeah, I'm 29 now. Like, I do not feel that scared of time as I used to. I would every now and then I'm like, "Oh god, I'm like almost 30," but I don't think of it in the sense that, "Oh, I'm 1 year closer to my inevitable death I still haven't found yet," because truthfully, over the past 5 or 6 years, I have found love. I've found it in multiple different forms, and I think a lot of young LGBT people go through this, especially people who were like me, who weren't super extroverted, who were not the conventional gay man. It's very lonely for us because we're already in a small community, and the small community tends to be very shallow toward people who they don't deem as being physically attractive in the way that people want them to be. Does that make sense? And believe me, I looked a lot different back in 2007 and 2008. I was cute, but I feel like I've become more attractive and more secure in my attractiveness since then. But, I never really attracted guys. I always just kind of loomed in the background. I just kind of like what I mentioned in my Mary Lambert video, in my last video, I felt very invisible, and And that was a feeling that I hated so much, and I always pined and pined and pined over wanting someone to notice me, wanting somebody to recognize me in some fashion and in a romantic sense. And it's interesting because this entry that I wrote probably 7 or 8 days after I was sexually assaulted. Back then, it was justified to me that what I went through wasn't assault because for men, it's okay, to have that kind of thing happen. At least that's how it was justified to me, and I really wasn't feeling the difficult effects of it until much later in 2008. I think it was toward the end of the year, honestly. Um, hey, day lover. And Akane, I don't think that it's a non-admirable place, the gay community, but I do think that the gay community does have a lot of issues, and it needs to address those issues because the issues we have tend to perpetuate and create a lot of conflict, bullying, misrepresentation, things like that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, believe me, I've had days where I've not been happy at all with the community, then I've never felt that it was, accommodating or anything like that. But anyway, back to that entry. I don't pine over that anymore. And I recognize that because I read this journal the same day that I saw Mary Lambert live, and I went to the concert, and there were so many people who had significant others there, gay couples, like LGBT couples, not just gay men, like LGBT couples. And they were all dancing and kissing. And if this were like 2008, I would have been so depressed and upset about not having that too, that I probably would have left the concert and I probably would have been super depressed for like the next week about that very subject. But you want to know what? When I was there, I didn't even think about it. And damn, it felt amazing. And since I didn't think about that, I had the opportunity to actually enjoy the concert. So it's just amazing how things work out that way, I think. So this is probably going to be a long live stream. I apologize if it's going to be like a million years long, but I don't know. I want to talk about a lot of things today. Hope you were okay with listening. So, um, as much as I was so broody back then, I've learned to appreciate those days because they shaped the person that I am. Back then, when I wasn't all broody and emo all the time, I was dreaming. I was outside, just walking, enjoying nature, gardening, writing, making music videos. And there are many aspects of those days that I miss very much. And I think sometimes, while we do grow and while we do become better people, I think sometimes we lose elements of ourselves over the course of time. And those are like my creative passion is something that I think that I've lost in certain ways. Because there was a time where I was just like this undiluted tap of creative energy that was constantly creating. Whether or not the things I were creating were good, that's besides the point, but I find myself missing that. And And I'm slowly recapturing it, I think. But see, the thing is, in order to recapture those things that we've perceived that we've lost, we have to work for it. Because we let adulthood get in the way of life, and we let it convince us that we don't have time to do things that we want to do. We don't have time to do creative endeavors. But you know what? Damn it, we totally do. We just need to stop telling ourselves that. Um, so So yeah, that is part of my goal and my journey this year is to claim creativity, and I've been trying to do that very much so here on YouTube because I've been posting a lot more than I used to. My goal is to try to at least post every couple days. In an ideal world, I would post every single day. Maybe that'll happen at some point. If not, well, every couple days should work. But I've been wanting to recapture music. I've been playing the piano more. My goal is to also pick up the saxophone again and start playing that. I used to be very good playing that. Um, sure, I didn't know you. Oh, you live in Ann Arbor? Yeah, next time we should totally do that. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Day Lover, thank you. That means a lot to me. I really appreciate you saying that. Day Lover said, "I think you make nice things like your YouTube stuff, and I think it will come." Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And it will. It will, and it will. Yeah, I'll just say it will. But so sometimes, like one thing that I've learned, if you want to maintain your creativity, and this is advice to anybody who always feels like they're in a creative funk. If you want to regain creativity, expose yourself to other people who are doing your medium of creativity. If you are a musician and you are having writer's block, listen to music. If you are a poet like myself and you have writer's block, read other people's poems. If you are a novelist or fiction writer or nonfiction writer, read stuff in that same genre. That way you can kind of gain inspiration. If you're an artist, go on Instagram and see people look at people's art or DeviantArt. DeviantArt is another amazing site that I used to use all the time that I plan on using more again. I miss that place. But what has kind of gotten me to think this lately, and this is transitioning into me talking about poetry because, well, poetry, is my jam. I love poetry very much. Um, so when I was at the Mary Lambert concert, there was a poet who performed before Mal Blum did, and I hope it's pronounced Malblom. That was the opening act for Mary Lambert. Malblom was amazing too, by the way. But there is a poet named Franny Choi, who is a student at University of Michigan, and um, Franny's poetry book or chapbook is called "Death by Sex Machine." It's this book right here, and I read like 4 poems in it, and as soon as I read those 4 poems, I was just like, "Oh my god, I need to start writing my own stuff." Like inspiration struck me. I started writing my own stuff. I connected the poems that I was writing to my realization that live journal is actually awesome. So it was amazing. And if you have not yet done so, check out Franny Choi. Amazing poet. Very, very moving. So that's kind of how I developed the desire to reclaim that creativity. In fact, it's interesting because that kind of started at the end of 2017, back on like December 28th or 29th, something like that. It was December 28th or 29th. I was looking through my collection of poems that I created during my MA program, and I was like, you know what? My work's never going to get out there unless I put it out there. So I got on the site that posts requests for submissions for publication, and I submitted my poems to a bunch of different literary magazines, journals, things like that. And within 4 days, I got a response. And it's I'm getting poetry published for the first time since 2011, and it feels amazing. And I want to be able to create my own chapbook. I want to be able to use my poetry as a means of storytelling and healing, much like I do here. So yeah, I 2 of my poems are getting published this month, actually, in a magazine called Flypaper Magazine. It's out of Ohio. And I have a poetry reading that I'm going to be doing at a local bistro here on Saturday. I'm really excited about that. So things are falling into motion. Like if you put your creative endeavors out there, people will notice. You have to do that, and I mean, people aren't just gonna notice you if that stuff isn't in existence in the interwebs or the electronic world, so and I've been thinking to myself, like, this is a recurring pattern, like, I mean, for example, Adam Lambert recognized me for doing YouTube videos. Mary Lambert recognized me because of my poems, like, when people that you idolize begin recognize blah, 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 blah. When people begin recognizing you, like, the people that you idolize, that's very empowering, and it's proof that your stuff does make some sort of difference and that people see it. So, if ever you're discouraged about putting your work out there, think that. You may not know who sees it. You may impact somebody you won't even realize. One of your idols, your celebrity favorites, like, may end up seeing your stuff, and that's very validating, trust me. Speaking of Adam Lambert mug. Um, yeah. Stadler. My God, the worst is gay scene here in London. All the gays are superficial on Instagram all the time and in every gay club acting like bitches. That's pretty common in a lot of places I've seen. So, but rest assured, my friend, the whole gay community is not like that because, well, you and I are examples of that, right? Day lover. Let's see. I need to see more of that. Oh, well, I'll have to maybe post some saxophone music. By the way, just FYI, guys, music-related plug for myself. If you did not know this, I actually have a music channel. It's called Donny Winter Music. I will put it in the at the end of this video as one of those like annotations so you can go view it. But my goal is to post more music and post poems. I also have a channel dedicated to poetry called Donny Speaks, if you want to check that one out too. I have not posted on there in a long time. I should probably start doing that. But I mean, since this is my big channel and since this is my primary mode of discussion, I use this channel a lot more. But gradually I do post things on my other channels too. Um, but yeah. Hmm. Man, I'm like getting a sore throat from talking so much. It happens to me frequently. Um, the community itself, Akane said, is a pit of negativity. I do agree. I do agree. And and I think it's because that negativity is perpetuated so much. That's okay, so this is why I do videos trying to talk about issues within the gay community because so many people just don't acknowledge that they're issues. For example, I really think that the environment on Grindr, the sex app is very problematic. I understand that it's really the only way that a lot of gay men can meet each other now, but, it's still rampantly sexualizing, objectifying, and stereotyping, and that upsets me beyond all reason. Um, but unfortunately, what else do we have to use, right? But we can't make changes in our community unless we at least acknowledge that there are issues, right? And issues don't necessarily suggest that we're bad people and that we aren't capable of growing as a community. Issues just say that, like, I mean, every community has issues. We just need to address them and continue building ourselves. So that's why I'm always trying to speak out against the sexualization of other men because, I mean, don't get me wrong, while I, believe me, appreciate an attractive man every now and then, attractiveness can quickly become a toxic point of obsession for an entire group of people because it will make so many people feel ashamed of themselves for not fitting into particular boxes that our community seems to make. I know I felt this a lot. I mean, if going back through my live journal, I saw this all the time. I was always making comments. I don't think I'm attractive, blah, blah, blah. I am too fat. I am too geeky, my voice is too high. Like, these are all things that I did hear from other gay men, and I internalized them to a very destructive extent to the point where I wouldn't speak. I would be silent. I would I'm gonna do a video about this. I haven't done it yet, but I would take laxatives and diet pills to make myself feel skinnier. I don't think I've ever even mentioned that before, but I used to do that. Um, I'm not proud of it, but I used to. I used to self-harm a lot because of it too. I would I mean, keep in mind, like, I feel like my body's average, but back then I would always, like, try to suck it in, like, suck my stomach in so much that you could, like, see my ribs, and I would have an upset stomach every day because I did that so often, because I felt like I had to in order to look good. And see, that is the environment that our community tends to create, and we need to quickly change that because it incenses me thinking that there could be a young gay man somewhere much like myself suffering from those same things. And keep in mind, I'm just using gay men as in the context of what I can relate to because that's what I am, but I have no doubt that this happens in the rest of the LGBTQ community, or even in heterosexual communities too. I know this is a very common thing for women to experience, but men also experience this. Um, but yeah, sorry, I was reading comments, everyone. I appreciate you guys talking as much as you are. That really it's fun. I really enjoy live streaming, but yeah, clearly there needs to be something done to improve the state of things in the community. So, all right, so I've been going for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna talk about a couple more things, and then I will let you move on with your day, and I'll move on with my day. So let me give you guys an update on the situation with YouTube. So you probably saw a couple videos ago that I filled out the survey, and I was a little bit frustrated over the fact that YouTube had not removed ads from Logan Paul's channel until now, and only temporarily so. I still have not heard from YouTube. I have a couple YouTubers who are planning on doing a video, and I hope they do, because believe me, it's not only gonna help me, but it's gonna help everyone else too. But thus far, YouTube has been very unresponsive, and I'm not surprised. I think I've maybe only heard from YouTube once, and since I'm losing my YouTube network now too, I know I can't rely on them for support, although the representative who does talk to me has been amazing, and I consider him a very good friend. So hopefully if I do get my partnership back, I will be able to be back on broadband TV. But, honestly, my goal right now is to continue to speak out against YouTube and to continue telling them tactfully and politely that this is wrong. Because if nobody else is going to speak out, then somebody has to. And since this is I mean, YouTube is not an income for me. Like, I don't make money off this, but it is a hobby to me, and it's crucial to my mental health because this is very therapeutic for me to do. And for YouTube to make it difficult for people to do it, that really makes me sad. And it could be adversely affecting so many people, not only taking away part of their livelihood, but also um, maybe affecting their mental health. So, a kinda big hug to you too. Big hug to you too. Um, I don't know if YouTube has even been listening to what I've been saying, but if YouTube does, that's great. And, I'm in the mentality right now that if YouTube's not gonna listen, then maybe some small content creator somewhere will stumble across my channel and be a little bit empowered by what I talk about, by, speaking out, and that they might make their own video about it. But or maybe a big YouTuber will stumble across and be like, "Hey, I wanna help support these smaller YouTubers by encouraging them some way." Like, I really I really hope that that is what this inspires in some fashion. So, but I'm only 9 days away from losing not my channel, my partnership. I'll still have my channel and I'll still do videos, but I'm 9 days away from losing my partnership. I'm not really scared. I'm upset because I know whatever happens, I'll keep doing what I'm doing because I know what I'm doing is good. But it is kind of a punch to the gut from YouTube because they, in raising their thresholds like this and not responding in any way, they're telling small communities like us, my friends, like us, that we aren't as significant as larger YouTuber communities like, say, Logan Paul's or PewDiePie's. And you know what? Just because we are a smaller, close-knit group of people, that doesn't make us any less significant. So that's what really upsets me, because I feel like over the past, God, how many years have I been doing this? 6 or 7 years, I've met some amazing people on here, and I've talked to some amazing subscribers, and you all contribute very much to my life and my mental well-being here. And for YouTube to basically imply that through their actions, that's not only an insult to me, but that, in my opinion, is an insult to the community that we've created together. So that's why I continue to speak out against it, and I appreciate you being patient with me and listening to me talk about it because I know you value what's significant to me too. I know that, and I love it. I love you guys so much. Morphin Ranger Gaming, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. I know you may have a small channel, but don't give up, okay? I know YouTube is being problematic right now, but don't let that deter you. My goal, like if I do ever become large here on YouTube, one of my biggest goals is to help support smaller channels who are growing. Because I firmly believe that everybody should have a chance to grow. And I don't think what YouTube is doing right now is necessarily fair to a lot of smaller people because they're stifling opportunity. So don't give up, okay? Elena, I love you too. I'm glad to see you're here. So, so yeah. I just think, like, one thing that makes me really happy is that I feel like one thing unique about our community here, like myself and you guys, is that we empower each other and we keep supporting each other. Like, I cannot begin to tell you how happy it makes me. But at the end of the day, like, getting big doesn't matter to me. Because as long as I can help one person or communicate with one person and improve themselves in some way, like their lives, their mental processes about depression, things like that, that is very therapeutic and healing for me. But anyway, I'm gonna probably wrap things up here because, well, hey, Karth. Well, I'm gonna wrap things up here because I have a lot of school stuff to do, but and I'm gonna watch the last episode of Star Trek Discovery at around 8:30. So I know not all of you who are watching are fans of it, but I love it. I have my reasons for loving it. So, but thank you guys for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for every like, every share, every subscription, because every single thing that you do on my videos helps me, believe me, beyond comprehension. So thank you for that. I never forget that for a moment. I never do. So anyway, I will probably be doing a reaction video to this upcoming episode of Star Trek, so you have that to look forward to this evening. And beyond that, I'm going to be doing a few more videos this coming week, so stay tuned for that. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. You have a great night, okay? Bye.